Welcome, everybody. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday. It appears that we are getting closer and closer to everybody's favorite holiday, right? Is everybody's favorite holiday Turkey Day? I mean, it's just good food on Thanksgiving. So that's nice. I guess it depends on what you're doing that day, right? I'd say that probably makes an impact. Holiday cheat day. It's certainly a time to eat a lot of food. And socialize and chit chat about life. Maybe that's what you guys do on Thanksgiving, talk about life. All right. Taco Bell George, I've been stalled out for 3 months. Maybe you're eating too less. It's probably all that Taco Bell, my friend. If your name is Taco Bell on here, that's not a good start, man. We need to figure out what's going on with the Taco Bell, and then we can talk weight loss. You dropped 100 pounds. Damn. If you dropped 100 pounds, it's not because you were eating Taco Bell. That's for sure. So congrats. No, I'm totally just kidding, man. That's great though, man. That's fantastic that you lost 100 pounds. I lost 100 pounds too, so I know what the endeavor entails. I know what it looks like. Hey, Peptide lady, you beat me to the punch. This is what I want to talk about today. I definitely want to talk about slow responders, non-responders, and beating the weight loss stall. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about peptides. We have a lot of cool things that we're doing right now in the peptide space. If you guys don't know about the Wolverine healing peptides, if we don't know, oh, hey, Taco Bell, you were one of our students last year. Fantastic. So you were able to get a foundation. Have you been continuing to implement flow protocol this entire time, my friend? Clearly, if you lost 100 pounds, that means you picked up some good habits. That makes me really happy. So yes, Peptide lady, we will talk about all this sort of stuff. Guys, if you just joined us here this morning, welcome. So my name is Dr. Jones. Good morning, Asa, Moon, Abe, Nancy. You share what you're thankful for before eating. That's a good idea. I think a lot of people don't do that. They just eat. They're not talking about what they're thankful for. They're just thankful to eat. So, there's something to be said about that. But anyways, so yes, guys, I have a nationwide clinic. We are looking at providing, I think, a very unique service. So yes, we prescribe the GLP-1 peptides. Yes, we prescribe semaglutide, tirzepatide, retatrutide. We do the powerful fat mobilizing peptides, the growth hormone peptides. We do all these cool things. We do hormone therapy for men and women. So if you're in menopause, perimenopause, if you have autoimmune diseases, Wegovy, the active ingredient in Wegovy is semaglutide, just so you know. So yes, we prescribe semaglutide too as well. So we provide all the cool tools, but notice what I call them, by the way. Notice that I called them tools. That is what they are. They are tools. I think the best and most powerful tools that we've ever had, truthfully. I really do. I think that when it comes to lasting weight loss and being set up for success for the rest of your life, you need to implement a certain amount of lifestyle change that addresses root cause health issues, right? We call this metabolic health, all right? So primarily insulin resistance, inflammation, those tend to be the big categories of things that can screw up your results. We got to get the cortisol levels balanced. We got to fix your thyroid and hormones. Of course, you got to be, sleeping well. You got to be managing your stress. So I don't think anybody has a program like ours that gets to the root cause of these health issues. And so, look, guys, January 1st is around the corner. What are you doing? What's your plan? I know a lot of you guys are struggling right now. And so what's your plan after New Year's? I hope your current plan isn't just to, I'll take care of it at New Year's. Like, we know, you should know that's not a good, it's not a good approach, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up 10 pounds heavier, feeling guilty this whole time, when instead we can get you started on a program where you feel like not guilty, but you feel like you got a plan. You got a plan of attack. We're going to do a metabolic reset so that you can eat more food and not feel guilty, fix your metabolism, and start crushing it in January. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna leave it there. So if you guys want to reach out to us, if you have questions about, the program, the pricing, the structure, all of that, shoot us a text message right here, the 229 number. It's actually on my shirt too as well. So 229-441-3562. So that number again, 229-441-3562. This is the best way to reach out to my team. Yes, we have a strategic way to incorporate holiday eating, and I think this is the whole fast, feast, and flourish. It is a good balance. You need to have some feasting periods and not feel guilty. So yes, we can use the holidays very strategically, and that's what it's all about. So 229-441-3562. This is the best way to reach out to my team. Now, I do put out a ton of free information. I just want to let you guys know, if you're not already following me on YouTube, what are you doing? You should get your butt over to YouTube right now and type in Dr. Jones DC. So you type in Dr. Jones DC and you will find my YouTube channel. There is a lot that we do. We do about 4 videos a week. Good morning, John. Perry says he's going to be getting started New Year's. See? Getting started New Year's is definitely one way to go about it, Perry, but I also don't want you to end up on New Year's getting started then and feeling like, you've gained weight. We can use this time in front of us to be strategic, okay? So go to YouTube, guys, right now and type in Dr. Jones DC so that you can find my YouTube page. Make sure you follow. Make sure you turn on your notifications so that you get notified every single time I go live. Check it out. And then if you're watching me on TikTok live right now, by the way, I try to put out a lot of bite-sized videos on TikTok, 60-second videos, that whole thing, about the reset, about the peptides, about all the strategies. And so these 2 handles right here, these are my TikTok handles, Metabolic Method, Progress Over Perfect. So if you're watching me on TikTok live, go follow me on those TikTok pages right now, because TikTok banned my other accounts. Good old TikTok likes to play games with me, and their game is deleting accounts and keeping this content from your hands, which sucks. But hey, Christy, our team is nationwide, just so you know. So our team is nationwide. We service all 50 states. Let's get into questions now. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. My thoughts on peptides. Peptides are powerful strategic tools to be used to optimize certain paths of health. Certain pathways in your health can get optimized and improved with peptide therapy, but you need to be strategic, okay? You need to be strategic. You need to have a foundation of proper lifestyle interventions. There needs to be enough protein intake. There needs to be weight training. You need to be sleeping enough. You have to be doing something about your stress. You need to reduce your inflammation, right? If you have autoimmune disease, how are we addressing that? So many people are relying on the medication and they're just increasing their dose every single week, increasing your dose. Hey, doctor, I'm not losing weight on my GLP-1 medications. And the doctor says, well, let's increase the dose. I mean, how many of you guys, that's pretty much the only coaching you get. The only advice you get from your doctors is to increase the dose. Let me know, is that like pretty much the story for you? Jamila is going low carb, intermittent fasting. That's a fantastic start. I hope when you're going low carb, you're going high fat. I hope that when you go low carb, you are going high fat. Because the biggest mistake that I see on the ketogenic diet is that people go low carb and they go high protein and they don't increase their fat. So it's a high protein diet. And unfortunately, a high protein diet that's not high fat equals low calorie. Let me repeat that again. A high fat diet or a low carb diet that's high in protein and not high in fat equals low in calories. So AKA you end up creating starvation mode. You're not getting enough calories in and you feel like crap. Sleeper, I lost 40 pounds in 3 months with retatrutide. Fantastic. How do you fight the constant dizziness and weakness? My friend, does that even sound like a good situation? You're dizzy and you're weak. That does not sound good at all. It does not sound like you're working with a doctor or you're working with a clinic, unfortunately. I'm sorry to hear that. But I would definitely go get your blood work done. Check your blood sugar. I don't like the sound of that at all. What is your ideal fasting length? So Rebella, you should definitely check out the video that I did on YouTube. It's very comprehensive and detailed and gets into the ideal fasting breakdown. But essentially, I'm a big proponent of intermittent fasting initially on your medications. And then what our clinic does is we work you into therapeutic fasting windows. So like the name of the game here is improving your metabolic health. And so fasting, like GLP-1 medications, are glucose dependent blood sugar lowering tools. GLP-1s lower your blood sugar, but it's glucose dependent. It doesn't lower your blood sugar into dangerous situations most of the time. Same thing about fasting. Now, if you're diabetic, John, like I know you are, and you have other medications that you're on, then yes, those other medications can create scenarios where you have to be careful. You need to be aware of what your blood sugar is doing and pay attention to it. But unfortunately, as a diabetic, continuing to eat carbohydrates just continues to make you more diabetic. That's the sad reality. That's great. That's great. If you're just on the Mounjaro, then truthfully, you still are in a situation where your body's ability to maintain healthy blood sugar levels are not going to be as good because you were diabetic. So normally what I do with somebody who's diabetic, who can control their blood sugar with just the GLP-1s, is we focus on implementing the flow protocol for many, many months to become insulin sensitive. And then after a certain period of time, you test the waters and see how you do. Let's start hitting these questions on YouTube. Tazzy Man says, all your info is great. Thanks for helping me. 58-year-old menopausal woman. You're welcome. I'm glad this information is helpful. And Sirio, how long is it safe to use the medication? I mean, I think most experts would agree that you can stay on this medication for the rest of your life. Or that you should stay on the medication for the rest of your life. Now, not me, not this expert. I think that the goal for any medication when it comes to your health should be to use the medications when needed and to use them to the degree that you need to use them, and then continue to implement lifestyle changes that address root cause issues that were driving the need for the medication to begin with, aka insulin resistance and inflammation. And so if we do that, we can build a foundation where, like in our program, we help people transition into microdosing maintenance protocols. Does it make sense to go back to one poop a week? Oh, I see that you corrected yourself. I mean, maybe I don't have enough context, Doggo, about your program and what you're doing to begin to even answer that question. But hopefully you reach out to us. Hopefully you shoot us a text message so that we can dive into this and we can get to work. Which peptide supports the metabolism the best? Oh, it really depends on what you mean. There's no ubiquitous definition of metabolism. Metabolism can mean many things, so it really depends on what you mean by that. Many peptides impact the metabolism in many different ways. BPC 157 drops the inflammation. Sloop 332 works on your mitochondria and causes more calories burned. OS01 is a AMPK pathway activator, which triggers a lot of downstream good things to happen, like metabolic rate increases, reductions in inflammation, like a lot of good things. Hey, Tia, good morning. I was struggling with fatigue the day after the shot. What can I do to improve this side effect? Tia, it just depends. Is the decrease in energy like transient? Like you're saying it's for a day or two and then you're fine for the rest of the week, and then you have this weekly pattern where you're just tired for a day or two? Like, tell me a little bit more about what's going on there. Hey Cal, I've been on Mounjaro since August, but my ESR and CRP have gone up a lot. A1C has reduced. So Cal, that's very interesting. Something is driving your inflammation while your blood sugar is decreasing. So that's really strange. You don't see that too often. I'm curious. Yeah, we'd have to figure out what's going on. We'd have to figure out what's causing you to get more inflamed. Now, the truth of the matter is inflammatory panels can vary with day-to-day things. Like if you're sick, for example, when you take those labs, you can have some short-term inflammation. So I would definitely, if you're working with us, or talk to your doctor and we can help interpret those labs for you. Tia, what does your doctor say about that when you talk to them? Yeah, Cal, I mean, if you were working with us, we would definitely be able to dig into this and help you figure out what's going on. I don't talk to my doctor. She isn't helpful at all. Yeah, I mean, then you might want to come to us and get some coaching. You might want to come to us and get some coaching because it sounds like you're struggling and you need some help. And we have a lot of people that are in our coaching program that are in the same situation like you, where they're not getting any help, they're not getting any guidance, unfortunately. But, we got you. We got you. Nurse, can you speak on why you say Retta doesn't help with inflammation like TERS? No, I never said that. I never said that retatrutide doesn't help with inflammation. What I say is that I notice with retatrutide, there is a larger percentage of people who don't get the appetite suppression that they need. A lot of people, I've seen this firsthand, they switch from tirzepatide to retatrutide, hoping the retatrutide solves their weight loss stall, and then they're pleasantly frustrated, or pleasantly surprised and become frustrated because they don't get the appetite suppression. I don't think that it's not working on inflammation. I think that it just doesn't do for a certain group of people. We don't know why yet. A certain group of people just don't seem to get solid appetite suppression from it. So there you go. Yeah, Tia, I don't think hypothyroidism would create a specific timed tiredness to the medication. Do you feel like you also get tiredness, lack of motivation, maybe a little bit of depression, or poop? I call it poopiness. You feel a little poopy and down, like you're dragging your feet. It's not just energy. You can tell there's a little bit of a mental piece to it where you're less motivated. Because if that's the situation, then I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Yeah, Tia, I have a pretty good idea of what's going on. You know, I would get into my coaching program. So I can help you because I already feel pretty confident that I think I know what's going on there. There are certain people that develop this sort of saturation of the dopaminergic pathways in the brain. And like dopamine is your motivator, right? And this works on those pathways in the brain. And for some people, it's almost like it saturates them and they end up struggling. Bees knees, vitamin deficiencies that are common with tirzepatide. I mean, is that a statement? Is that a question? A lot of people are starving themselves on these medications. They're not eating enough food and they're not eating quality food. So a lot of people are malnourished. A lot of people are not getting enough micronutrients at all. Trusteth, what would you do if you have to switch from Zepbound to Wegovy? Any issues with that? No, you're just not going to be as happy about the results, unfortunately. That's what I notice. I have joint swallow. What do I do? I don't know what that means. I apologize. Hey, Juris Bird, thank you so much. Lucky, I have no idea what you're saying. Orange biting nails, face orange biting nails. I have no idea what that is, but okay. Is that like some sort of cryptic code for something? I have no idea. Tina, I need advice on preventing constipation. So, increasing your hydration, increasing your fiber, addressing thyroid. It could be metabolic downregulation. It could be thyroid issues. I don't know why. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna see if something happens when I take this off. There we go. That was strange. Did you guys see that? Little reindeer effect. That was that was pretty strange. I don't know what that was. Would I happen to have a preferred collagen powder? No, I don't really have a preferred one. Vital Proteins is fine. The stuff that you get at Costco, and I'm not too worried about that. I think I've seen some rumblings and some reports about that, but I haven't seen any convincing data on that yet. But collagen peptides are really potent for hair, skin, and nails. So is the peptide called GHK copper. GHK copper is a powerful tripeptide with copper. that plays vital roles in collagen synthesis and collagen production. Probably the most underrated peptide would be GHK copper. Hey Linda, surprisingly, I have started taking my maintenance dose every 2 weeks and it still works just as well. That is fantastic, Linda. I always tell people the name of the game should be to stay on the lowest dose possible. The name of the game is to stay on the lowest dose that you possibly can. And the only way that you can really do that, the only way that you can really make a low dose more effective is by implementing targeted lifestyle interventions that get to the root cause. Insulin resistance, inflammation. Insulin resistance, inflammation. That is vitally important. Pinridge, using your tirzepatide, and I have lost only 1 pound in 5 weeks. Pinridge, so I'm not sure what dose you're on, but you're probably still on the starter dose. I don't care whose GLP-1 medication that you use, but if you've only lost 5 pounds in 1 week, then there's a lot of things that could be the scenario. First of all, a lot of people don't lose weight on the starter dose, number one. You may need to increase your dose. But number two, it could be high levels of inflammation. It could be high levels of insulin resistance. It could be cortisol. It could be thyroid. There are a lot of reasons why people start GLP-1 medications and they don't work. There's a ton of reasons. And so who's coaching you? Did you get any coaching? I'm assuming you didn't. This is why the coaching is so vital, because it's not only to help make the medication work, but more importantly, to set you up for success in the future. How in the world are you going to be able to maintain your weight loss if you don't actually address the underlying issues that are driving the weight gain to begin with? So, I can't stress this enough. The coaching is so freaking important. Good morning. Retta and Cagri are making my stomach super distended all of a sudden and giving me IBS, never before. Yeah, who told you it was okay to take retatrutide and cagrilintide, my friend? You're talking about 2 non-FDA approved GLP-1 peptides. Who's coaching you in the dosing? You are taking more risky peptides that don't have actual clinical trials, phase 3, to prove that they're safe yet. So, people are so shocked when things are happening to them and they're using peptides that haven't been fully researched yet. That's have we prescribed and offered retatrutide, cagrilintide? Yes, we have. But it's last-ditch efforts when we can't get the basic ones, tirzepatide, tried and true tirzepatide, which is backed by research, only if we can't get that to work, which is a pretty rare thing. So I hope, from what you're saying, I would definitely go talk to your doctor immediately, maybe go to urgent care. I would probably stop those medications. I'm not giving you medical advice. And if you want to work with somebody who's actually going to work with you, you might want to reach out to us. Do I like tesamorelin or samorelin? I think without a doubt, tesamorelin is much better. Tesamorelin is much better. Pinridge, I get my protein 80 to 100 grams, no grains, gluten, soy, or dairy. Fantastic. So you might as well do a carnivore diet then. If you're eliminating all grains, gluten, soy, or dairy, you might as well just go carnivore. Labs are nice they give us a good idea and a good understanding, but labs don't tell you everything. Unfortunately, labs don't tell you everything. But they give you a good baseline. They certainly give you a good baseline. Good morning, Sarah from Pennsylvania. How are you? But I heard carnivore plus tirzepatide is not a good idea. I don't know who told you that, but we have plenty of patients doing carnivore, and they're crushing it right now. Carnivore diet is freaking amazing. Massive reductions in inflammation, massive reductions in insulin levels. Now, if you go on higher doses plus a carnivore diet, that's a problem. That's an absolute problem. So we implement low dosing strategies, and that's probably part of why we're so successful, because we're implementing low dose strategies. Aw, thank you, Nana. You are so sweet. Thank you so much. Carnivore diet does not get you more constipated. You don't need to poop as often when you are carnivore. See, this is a very confusing part about carnivore and constipation. People think that carnivore diet creates more constipation. No. When you're eating a pure carnivore diet, you're absorbing the majority of what you eat. You don't need to poop as much. There's a difference between I'm pooping twice a week and I feel bloated. And you can feel when you're eating a bunch of vegetables, you can feel that you're bloated and you can feel that there's stool in there, versus I poop twice a week because I eat carnivore. I'm absorbing everything and I don't feel bloated at all. I don't feel gassy. I don't feel blocked. I feel freaking great. There's a massive difference. Massive difference. Thank you, Nana. I appreciate that. Yes, Erica, we do prescribe retatrutide, although I'm going to ask you why you are looking for retatrutide. What problem are you trying to solve? I would hate for you to purchase retatrutide and not be happy. We get much better results when we stack the tirzepatide with the with like a fat mobilizing peptide like Sloop or AOD or something. Hey, Preston, what's up, my friend? We actually are just telemed, so we service all 50 states, just so you guys know. Yeah, we're not limited to one area. Hey, Sarah. Sarah says, I follow you every morning, and I'm speaking with one of my coaches. I'm super excited about learning about my body, how it works in this weight loss journey. Are you in my program, Sarah? Are you working with one of my coaches? That's fantastic. I'm super excited. You can get collagen from animal products. When you eat an animal heavy diet, you get a ton of collagen. Okay, peptide ladies, let's talk about slow responder. I apologize. You've been very patient. And you have not been rude at all, actually. So some people get really rude when, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about slow responder, peptide lady. Do I have a twin or a brother? No, I don't. I am engaged. Yes. I haven't seen any pro-cancer studies. No, I have not. Let's see. Heck yeah, Sam I Am is crushing it with fasting and AOD. That is one of my favorite things right there. You fast, you're on a GLP-1, you use AOD to optimize your fasting, you're going to shred up. You're going to lose fat. You're going to lose fat quickly. Now, obviously, depending on your history. Okay, so slow responders and non-responders. Guys, welcome, welcome. If you are on this live for the first time, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. I work with my medical practitioners. They prescribe the GLP-1s, the powerful peptides, the hormone therapies, all these cool things, the bells and whistles. Good morning, Dharma. AOD is a fragment of human growth hormone. Specifically, we like to pair it up with the GLP-1s in fasting because it mobilizes your fat stores. So it creates a decreased stress response from the body when you get into therapeutic fasting windows, which for women, they tend to be more sensitive to those longer fasting windows. So the AOD basically bridges the gap and makes it easier. Speak of the devil, that's actually one of the next videos I want to do. AOD. Okay. So this phone number right here, guys, is actually the best number to reach out to my team. So all you got to do is shoot us a text message, 229-441-3562. That number again is 229-441-3562. Shoot us a text message. Let them know that you want to get set up for a free consultation with my team, and that you want to get set up and go over everything. They're going to go over your history, your struggles, what you've been doing. Can you stack Tessa and retatrutide? Yes. AOD, I would do about a 3-month cycle. And yes, we do accept flexible spending accounts, health savings accounts. We are able and set up to take those too as well. My advocates, when you shoot us a text message, guys, they're going to set you up on they're going to go over your history. They're going to go over the program. They're going to go over the costs, and they're going to give you a good idea of the framework and what it looks like to get started, what it looks like, pricing and the whole shebang. If you already have your GLP-1 medications, fantastic. All you need is coaching and peptides. Maybe you need the whole thing. There's packages. And just so you guys know, we do have specials around the corner here with Black Friday, specifically on the healing peptides and the glow peptides. So if you're dealing with any nagging injuries right now, if you have been looking for some anti-aging skin rejuvenation, that's the glow peptide stack. That one's got the GHK copper. I'm a big fan of GHK copper. I think it's severe. That's the blue stuff, by the way. That's the blue stuff that's all over social media, the GHK copper. I think on GLP-1s, that's severely important. And if you're not already following me on YouTube, you definitely need to do that. You definitely need to go to YouTube and check out my page. Type in Dr. Jones DC, and you will find me on YouTube. We are putting out about 4 videos a week where I get into deep dives regarding peptides and all the different strategies to optimize your long-term health. Like, look, my game, we're getting there. We're gonna start talking about slow responders. We're gonna start talking about slow responders and non-responders here shortly. So, YouTube page, type in Dr. Jones DC. And then if you are following me on TikTok, make sure you, if you want access to my other TikToks, because I put out 3 videos a day on each TikTok page, shoot us a DM and we can send you our TikTok handles. Okay, cool. So what are the 4 main causes of slow response? Slow responders, non-responders. Let's talk about that. So the 4 main causes are cortisol issues, thyroid, inflammation, and insulin resistance. So what does cortisol issues look like? It could be a sleep issue. You're not getting 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. You have in your life a lot of stress. So you have mental or physical stressors going on. You could be sick. You could be, usually it's more of a mental stress, annoying boss, failing marriage, deadbeat kids, all of the above. Hopefully you don't have deadbeat kids, but you could, and that could be really stressful because you haven't done something about it, right? But whatever it is, figuring out how to manage those stressful things, reorganize them, make them less stressful, and then implementing some stress management techniques like breath work, mindfulness, journaling, drawing, meditation, all of the above. Just picking one of those. This can help decrease that sympathetic response, that overdrive that happens from chronic stress. Thyroid. A lot of you are struggling with thyroid issues. Hey, you know what's funny that you asked that question is we are actually hiring a couple patient advocates. I literally just had this conversation with my team yesterday. So let me just throw it out there, guys. If you are looking for a new career, if you're looking and you think you have good communication, you need an understanding of what obviously what we do, weight loss, peptides, the medical health space. But these are our patient advocates. We are looking to hire like 2 more patient advocates. These are the people who take those phone calls first, those consultations, communicate to the public about our services, and then help them get started. It's such an important role because you are the first person that the public speaks to, and you have the passion and ability to educate them about what I do, what my team does, and gives them a breakdown of the program and the pricing and, collects the money and all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested, it is a fully remote position, fully remote, part-time, full-time, great pay, great benefits, and you get to work side by side me and get training in pioneer protocols that nobody else is really doing for the most part. So if you guys are interested in that career or you want to learn more, there's a link where you can apply, or if you know somebody who is looking for a career change, shoot us a text message at the 229 number, 229-441-3562. Let them know that you're interested in the patient educator role, and they'll send you the link where you can apply. I'm gonna make sure that my team is aware that few of you guys are actually interested. So, okay. So, anyways, let's finish this conversation because I gotta hop off, guys, and get started with my day. I want to. The way that you apply is just shoot us a text message. We were talking about thyroid. So, undiagnosed hypothyroidism is so common. Probably one of the most common medical issues that go undiagnosed. Do you guys want to know if you have a thyroid issue? Here you go. Pay attention to this because this can be creating your slow results. Tiredness, brain fog, constipation, feeling cold, achy body, hair loss, brittle skin and nails, achiness throughout the body, dry, flaky skin. That's most of the thyroid symptoms. So if you have half or more of those symptoms, you likely have suboptimal thyroid function. And your doctor is probably telling you your thyroid's fine because they only check TSH. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, is the standard medical test that insurance covers. But unfortunately, millions of Americans, the TSH looks fine, but their thyroid labs are not fine. So you need to be looking at free T3 and free T4. And reverse T3. This is well understood in the functional world, but unfortunately, standard Western medicine does not cover these panels. So if your doctor told you that your thyroid was fine, yet you have half or more of those symptoms, your thyroid is not fine. I can tell you right now, your thyroid is not fine. So yeah, this is a problem. And my gosh, it's we run into this issue all the time And people are so surprised, and we check their thyroid panel and we confirm, either reverse T3 is high or your free T3 is low, Okay, so that's number 2. We talked about cortisol. We talked about thyroid. Inflammation. So you guys have heard of inflammation. This isn't new news. Your inflammation can be high. If your inflammation is high, that creates insulin resistance, and it also blocks your body's ability to mobilize and burn fat. So we will check your labs when you start our program. We check fasting insulin and C-peptide. Sorry, that's our insulin panel. We check CRP and ESR. So the CRP and ESR are common inflammatory markers that we check that give us a quick view to see if your body's possibly inflamed. And when those lab panels come back high, then we have a sort of a confirmation that inflammation is high. If your inflammation is high, the first thing we like to do is stack, in addition to your GLP-1 medications, low-dose naltrexone, very powerful, especially if you have autoimmune disease, guys. If you have autoimmune disease, low-dose naltrexone, so powerful. So low-dose naltrexone, BPC 157, KPV. These are very powerful autoimmune regulating, autoimmune modulating compounds. They reduce inflammation. They calm down an overactive immune system. And then I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you have an autoimmune disease, freaking carnivore diet. Short-term carnivore diet can be game-changing for anybody that has autoimmune disease. And then you use a low-dose GLP-1 to make the carnivore diet easier to implement. And that's it. That's how that works. All right, guys. So I got to bounce. As a reminder, I will be live at least for the next couple weeks every morning. You can catch me at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you guys know where to find me on YouTube. Type in Dr. Jones DC. Make sure you're following my TikToks. If you guys like my bite-sized videos on TikTok, shoot us a message and we'll send you those handles. And then, of course, Instagram, just type in Dr. Jones DC and you'll find me on Instagram. Instagram is cool because we put out a lot of carousels. We put out a lot of posts on Instagram that are specifically educational driven so you can read quick, digestible, key bullet points that help you understand the big picture of what you got to do. So definitely check us out on Instagram. And you guys have a beautiful day. You guys keep kicking butt. We'll see everybody later. Bye, everybody.